Hello dear children, welcome back. I'm Dr. Jisha Joe. In this session, we shall study the structure of the ear. The human ear consists of three parts: outer ear, middle ear, and inner ear. Outer ear comprises of the pinnae, that is the pinna. Then there is an opening which leads into a canal, which is called as the auditory canal. That is the auditory canal. The function of the pinnae is to direct the sound waves into the auditory canal. The sound waves are directed into the auditory canal by the pinnae. Okay, so that is the pinna, which is the external, which is a part of the outer ear. The pinna has an opening which leads into a canal which is called as the auditory canal, and the auditory canal leads to a membrane that is called as the tympanum or the eardrum. Tympanum or eardrum. So these are the different parts of the outer ear. That is the outer ear. So outer ear comprises of the pinna. Pinna has an opening which leads into a canal that is called as the auditory canal. Auditory canal leads to a membranous cover, an opening which is guarded by a membrane. That membrane is called as the tympanum or the eardrum. Now moving on to the middle ear. Okay, middle ear comprises of three bones, the tiniest bones in our body. First bone is the okay, that is the tympanum. The first bone is the hammer. It has the shape of a hammer, that is why it is called as the hammer. The handle of the hammer is attached to the eardrum or the tympanum. Okay, that is the handle of the hammer that is attached to the tympanum or eardrum. That is the first bone, hammer. Okay, then there is the second bone there which is attached to the hammer. I'll draw it in another color. That is the second bone which is attached to the hammer. Okay, that is the second bone which is called as the anvil. Anvil. Okay, so first bone is the hammer, which I have drawn in blue. Then comes the second bone. The hammer is attached to the tympanum. The handle of the hammer is attached to the tympanum. The other end of the hammer is in contact with the second bone, which is the anvil. The anvil is in turn attached to the third bone. The third bone, that is the third bone. Okay, which is called as the stirrup. Stirrup. Okay, so these are the three tiny bones that are present in the ear: hammer, anvil, and stirrup. And the scientific terms of these bones are malleus, incus, and stapes. Incus and stapes. These terms are important for the exam. So these are the three tiny bones, and the three bones of the middle ear are together called as the ear ossicles. Okay, these three bones together form what we call as the ear ossicles. Ear ossicles. Okay. So this the free end of the stirrup is attached to an oval window. It has, or it is oval in shape. That is called, that is why it is called as the oval window. It has a membranous covering there, and it is the membrane, or it is the opening which connects the middle ear with the inner ear. Okay, so the end of the stirrup, one end of the stirrup is attached to the anvil and the other end is attached to the oval window, and there is another window which is called as the round window a little below the oval window. This is also guarded by a membrane, and both these windows connect the middle ear with the inner ear. Okay, then there is a tube that connects the middle ear with the throat. Okay, so that is the middle ear. The middle ear is connected to the throat by means of a tube which is called as the eustachian tube. Eustachian tube. And because of this connection, when we pour medicine into our ears, it will flow into our throat, isn't it? It is because of this connection that is occurring between the middle ear and the throat. This happens. This tube is called as the eustachian tube, and the function of the eustachian tube is to equalize the pressure on either side of the tympanum, so that the tympanum is able to vibrate freely when sound waves reach the tympanum. Okay, so for the tympanum to vibrate freely, equalization of air pressure on both sides of the tympanum is necessary or is needed, and it is this tube, that is the eustachian tube, which equalizes the pressure on either side of the tympanum, so that the tympanum or the eardrum is able to vibrate freely as the sound waves fall on the tympanum. Okay, so that is the middle ear. So middle ear comprises of the three bones: the hammer, anvil and the stirrup. Hammer is the first bone, which is otherwise called as the malleus. Second bone is the anvil, the scientific name is incus, and the third bone is stirrup, scientific name is stapes. Okay, and the free end of the stirrup is attached to the oval window. Just below, a little below the oval window, there is a round window. Both these are covered by membrane, and these are openings which connect the middle ear with the inner ear. So that is the middle ear. Middle ear consists of three bones and the eustachian canal or eustachian tube. Okay, so that is the middle ear. That is the middle ear. Now moving on to the inner ear. Inner ear comprises of two parts. Okay, two parts are there for the inner ear. First is a snail shell-like structure. It is spiral shaped. Okay, snail shell-like. It makes 2.5 turns. Okay, so that is the first turn, second turn, and the second half turn. 2.5 turns it will make. It appears like a snail shell, and it makes, or it has 2.5 turns there. Okay, so that structure is called as the cochlea. Cochlea. That is the first part of the, or one of the parts of the inner ear, which is the cochlea. Okay, it has a snail shell-like structure. It is spiral in shape, and it has 2.5 turns. And there is another region also in the inner ear. There is another part also in the inner ear. Stirrup, which is otherwise called as the stapes. Okay, there is another region or another part also for the inner ear, that is the semicircular canal. Okay, the semicircular canal is attached to the cochlea. A set of 3 semicircular canals are present. That is the first one. Okay, first one. Second one, and the third one. A set of 3 semicircular canals are present, and these 3 semicircular canals are arranged in such a way that they are at right angles to each other. So for them to lie at right angles to each other, one should be lying in this direction, and the other in this direction, and the third one in this direction. Okay, so one in this direction, second one in this direction, and the third in this direction. So then only all the 3 will be at right angles to each other. So there are 3 semicircular canals lying at right angles to each other. And if you look at the semicircular canal, you can see a peculiarity there. One end of all the 3. If you look at one end of all the 3 semicircular canals, you can see that one end is expanded, isn't it? This expanded region is called as the ampulla. So that is, these are the 3 semicircular canals. Semicircular canals. And this expanded portion of the semicircular canal is called as the ampulla. Ampulla. Okay. So, this is the structure of the ear. Okay, once again, the ear, human ear, comprises of 3 parts: the outer ear, middle ear, and the inner ear. That is the inner ear. So, outer ear comprises of the pinna. Pinna has an opening which leads into a canal which is called as the auditory canal. The auditory canal leads to the eardrum or the tympanum. Now, this middle ear. Middle ear has 3 tiny bones which are collectively called as the ear ossicles. Ear ossicles. Which are the 3 bones of the ear ossicles? Hammer, anvil, and stirrup. Scientific terms for the 3 bones are malleus, incus, and stapes. Important. These terms as well as the term ear ossicles is important. Okay, so the handle of the hammer is attached to the tympanum. The other end of the hammer is in contact with the anvil. Okay, then the second, the anvil is in turn attached to the stirrup. The free end of the stirrup is attached to the oval window, which is an opening that is guarded by a membrane. Okay, and just below the oval window there is a round window. Both these, the round window is also guarded by membrane, and both these openings connect the middle ear with the inner ear. And there is another tube which connects the middle ear with the throat, which is called as the eustachian tube. And the function of the eustachian tube is to equalize the pressure on either side of the tympanum so that the tympanum can vibrate freely as the sound waves fall on the tympanum. Okay, so I hope that much is clear. Then moving on to the inner ear. Inner ear comprises of 2 parts. The first part is the cochlea, which is spiral shape, which has the shape of a snail shell. It has 2.5 turns. 1, 2.5 turns. Okay. That is the cochlea. And the second part of the inner ear is the semicircular canal. There is a set of 3 semicircular canals in each ear, and you can see that one end of each of the semicircular canal is expanded. This expanded portion of the semicircular canal is called as the ampulla. So now we have seen that the inner ear has two parts. Which are the two parts of the inner ear? The cochlea and the semicircular canal. Now we shall have a look at the inner part of the cochlea. What is present inside the cochlea? That is what we are going to see now. So that is the cochlea. The opening of the cochlea is turned towards you. You can see that internally the cochlea is divided into three. There are three canals internally. The upper canal, there is an upper canal there. Okay. Then there is a middle canal. That is the middle canal. And then there is a lower canal there. Okay. So these are the three canals that you see inside the cochlea. The upper canal is called as the vestibular canal. Vestibular canal. The middle canal is called as the median canal. And the lower canal, okay, the third canal is called as the tympanal canal. So internally the cochlea is divided into three canals: the vestibular canal, the middle median canal, and the lower tympanal canal. And all the three canals are filled with fluid. The fluid present in the vestibular and the tympanal canal is called as the perilymph. Okay, perilymph is the fluid that is present in the tympanal and the vestibular canal, perilymph. And the fluid that is present in the median canal is called as endolymph. Endolymph. Now, if you look at the median canal, that is the lower membrane of the median canal. This membrane, that is called as the basilar membrane. Basilar membrane is the lower membrane of the median canal. Okay, on the basilar membrane, there are present sensory cells, a group of cells which help us in hearing. This group of sensory cells, you can see sensory cells are present there. A group of sensory cells are present there. They have hairs projecting into the fluid. Okay, this group of cells is called as the organ of Cochlea. That is the organ of Cochlea. Organ of Cochlea contains the sensory cells for hearing. Where is it present? It is present on the basilar membrane of the median canal of the cochlea. Okay, so what is organ of Cochlea? Organ of Cochlea is a group of sensory cells which help us to hear. Okay, and where is it present? On the basilar membrane. Where is the basilar membrane present? In the median canal. Where is the median canal present? In the cochlea. Where is the cochlea present? In the inner ear. Okay, so that is the organ of Cochlea. Now, just above the organ of Cochlea, covering the organ of Cochlea, there is another membrane. Another membrane is present, which I am marking in blue color. Okay, that is the tectorial membrane. Tectorial membrane. Tectorial membrane. So internally, so tectorial membrane just acts as a covering over the sensory cells of the organ of Cochlea. And as the hairs get stimulated, this stimulation is passed on to the tectorial membrane also, and the sensory cells of hearing, that is the organ of Cochlea, these sensory cells, from these sensory cells arise the auditory nerve. The auditory nerve arises from these sensory cells. That is the auditory nerve. Auditory nerve carries the impulses to the brain. Okay, so that is the internal structure of the cochlea. So cochlea, we know it is a part of the inner ear. Internally, the cochlea is divided into three canals, or it has three canals. The upper canal is the vestibular canal, which is filled with a fluid called perilymph. The middle canal is the median canal, which is filled with the fluid called endolymph. And the lower canal is the tympanal canal, which is filled with the fluid called perilymph again. Okay, and then what did we study? In the median canal, the lower membrane of the median canal is called as the basilar membrane, and on the basilar membrane are present sensory cells for hearing. A group of cells are present on the basilar membrane which help us in hearing. This group of sensory cells form the organ of Cochlea. Location and role can be asked. Okay, so from these sensory cells, group of sensory cells arise the auditory nerve, which carries the impulses or transmits the impulses to the brain. So organ of Cochlea, location, where is it located? It is located on the basilar membrane of the median canal of the cochlea of inner ear. That is the location of organ of Cochlea. What does it contain? It contains the sensory cells for hearing. Now, which is the second part of the inner ear? That is the semicircular canal. We have seen that there is a set of three semicircular canals in the inner ear, and we have also seen that one end of each semicircular canal is expanded to form the ampulla. Just like the cochlea, just like inside the cochlea, the semicircular canal also has fluid inside it. Okay, and this expanded region, that is the ampulla, contains the sensory cells which help us in balancing our body when the body is in motion. Or when we are moving, we are able to move without falling. It is due to the sensory cells that are present inside the ampulla of the semicircular canal. Okay, so that is with regard to the semicircular canal and how it helps in balancing the body. Now, if you look at the cochlea and the semicircular canal from a different angle, you can see that, suppose that is the cochlea there, okay. Okay, that is the cochlea. You can see that we have seen the semicircular canal is attached to the cochlea. Okay, the region where the semicircular canal is attached to the cochlea, there is a stem-like region. There is a stem joining the semicircular canal with the cochlea. So, just drawing it. See, there is a stem there which connects the semicircular canal with the cochlea. That is the cochlea. This is the view of the cochlea and the semicircular canal in a different angle. You can see these are the three semicircular canals there. Semicircular canals. You can see a region here like a stem which joins the semicircular canal with the cochlea. This region is called as the vestibule. Vestibule. Okay, and this vestibule or the short stem that joins the semicircular canal with the cochlea is differentiated into two regions. Which are the two regions? The region close to the semicircular canal is called as the utriculus. Utriculus. And the lower region is called as the sacculus. Sacculus. And both together form the vestibule. So the short stem which connects the semicircular canal with the cochlea is the vestibule. And the vestibule comprises of two parts or two regions. The upper region, which is close to the semicircular canal, is the utriculus, and the lower region is called as the sacculus. And as we have seen, just like the ampulla, inside the ampulla, sensory cells are present which help us to maintain dynamic balancing, or which provides dynamic equilibrium when we are or when our body is in motion. Similarly, inside the vestibule also, that is inside the utriculus and sacculus also, there are sensory cells present which help us to maintain static balancing when the body is static, or when the body is not in motion. We are able to stand without falling because of the sensory cells that are present in the utriculus and sacculus, or if we say it is due to the sensory cells that are present in the vestibule, that is the short stem which is present between the semicircular canal and the cochlea, which helps us to provide static balancing. Okay, so that is with regard to the cochlea and the semicircular canal. So I hope this session is clear, children. If you have any doubts, please ask your doubts and give your suggestions in the comment section. Thank you.